Most people haven't heard about this, and it started with companies, and now it's being applied to individuals. It's called the ESG, Environmental Social Governance Score. And it's going to affect everything in your life. It will affect whether you can get a loan, borrow money, get a job. They want to replace the FICO score with this ESG score. So let's go over here and look at what it might entail. You should be very scared that this is happening, and there's no way now to check your score. So here's a website, CFI, and it's a corporatefinanceinstitute.com, and it talks about the ESG score for companies, environmental social governance. Okay. And the companies were doing this to show that they were socially responsible. But they are going to use it now for individuals. It says, do I have an ESG score? You may know your credit score, but an individual ESG score is rather new. In many cases, people are unaware that they even have an ESG score, unless they happen to come across it in the process of doing something totally unrelated. Now, if you have an account with Merrill Lynch, they have given you an ESG score, so you can find out what it is. I personally would probably take all my money out of Merrill Lynch if I'd had it. So your purchase history and your sales history will have a dramatic effect on your ESG rating as a person. The charities that you support will increase or decrease your ESG score. I imagine if you give to the NRA, down goes your score. The platform will track your personal impact in the environment around you through various means. The purpose behind each person being assigned an individual ESG score is to help reward actions that will help move the world towards sustainability. There will come a time where too low of a score can result in denials for loans or services similar to the way credit scores currently function. So maybe you won't be able to rent because your ESG score is too low. So there are a few different places where you can check to find your ESG score. A major financial firms such as Merrill Lynch, your personal ESG score will be listed on your account. And there's some main ESG monitoring company websites. You'll have to look that up. So it says if you don't have an account with a big financial institute, you can get an idea of your score. So here's a quick tutorial on how to calculate your personal ESG score. 50 to 70, anything between 50 and 70 for companies is considered average. ESG ratings are based on the measure of behaviors, investments, habits, and other actions gathered from a range of public sources. So if you have a social media account, I imagine mine won't be very good with all these prepper videos I've been doing. Some things you may need to calculate your personal score are a list of your investments, how many miles you travel via car and public transport, the amount of energy you use each month, your cryptocurrency profile, your food consumption numbers, your organic and environmental effort profile. How do they even figure this out? So step 1, calculate the amount of energy you use personally and as a family, and then calculate the amount of waste you produce personally. Look at your percentage of eco-friendly purchases. Consider how your actions, both online and in person, help support your community and those around you. Also, you will need to calculate how your actions harm those around you. I guess this is why we should stay off social media. So how to calculate your ESG score? So step 4 here is after segmenting each section, a value will then be assigned to each. Some areas have a heavier weight than others. For example, if you invest in green programs and avoid eating meat, boy, they have it in for people who are eating meat. So you're going to have to invest in the green programs and avoid eating meat. You'll have a heavier weight than your use of electricity in your home daily. How are they going to know how much meat you have unless they can monitor your grocery shopping, which will probably be coming? So buying a gun, alcohol, or even clothing will affect your overall score. Not only will your purchases matter, but who you purchase from and how they do business. So if you purchase from some local store, it probably is going to be worse than if you purchase from one of the big stores like Amazon. I'm just guessing here. Your political affiliations will also factor into your personal score. The party you support and the person you vote for will make your score go up or down based on the person's actions, policy, and voting habits. All you Trump voters, there goes your score. The type of car you drive, how often and even how many people are in the car when you drive will come in play in deciding your score. Look what they have to find out about you. They are going to dive into every single bit of your history. There's no secrecy anymore. Everything will be out in the open. So that's from the impact investor on a personal, individual ESG score. And then over here, what is your ESG credit score? Major banks are rolling out a new platform, and lending practices will be driven by your ESG score. Okay, we know it's environmental, social, and governance. What you buy and sell, what charities you support, your environmental impact are being tracked and translated into a score. Glenn Beck had a friend who checked his Merrill Lynch account, and he had a score of 4.7. Didn't know how they arrived at that number. It's going to affect whether you qualify for a car loan, a home loan, a business loan, or if you're a good credit risk. If you're a good credit risk, if you're applying for other things like a job. Did you buy a gun, for example? Give to a particular political party candidate? Or do you purchase meat? What kind of car do you drive? How often do you drive? Not kidding. This will have an impact on your freedom in the new world that is unfolding. Every company will be graded on their hiring practices and how many minorities and even diverse genders are hired. It sounds nuts, because it is the Green New Deal on steroids. No one elected these people or voted on these new systems that will have a direct impact on all of us. But it's been in the pipeline for years. We now have systems in place to support it. What can you do to ensure our rights in a free society under these new rules? And there are more coming. He says, my car insurance company offered savings if I downloaded an app that would track my driving habits, not just my driving record, but when I drove at night or just during the day and what hours, how far, how fast, how often I brake. It was very invasive. This is the definition of smart cars, smart cities, the wave of the future. This isn't the stuff of science fiction or conspiracy talk. Go to the WEF site, I'll have to look that up, and read the circles within the circles, between the lines. So this is from Ricochet, and I don't know about you, but I just heard about this ESG score, and it's very upsetting to know that they are going to probe into your whole life, and they have these arbitrary rules that are going to govern whether you can probably buy food in the near future. Who knows what they're going to do? So with that in mind, please subscribe, please comment, please like the video, and check out this video you see right here. And thank you so much for watching.